It's me, Rachel, with Senza Tempo Connie Corso. So my wiener dog is going crazy over here. Yeah, you can put Atari out. So I'll wait for some people to come in. We're putting out Atari because Misha is being super loud right now. And shh, you guys quiet down. Yeah, puppies are going wild. So 5 puppies went home today, and we've got 5 left. And boy, I tell you what, I am just so happy. I really need a break. These puppies have just took it out of me. Savannah, do you mind putting the pups out? Yeah. Outside? Yeah. Thank you a bunch. So anyway, I wanted to address the the videos that I took down and why. There was a couple people asking, and I was going to address it, and then I figured, well, people are already asking, so I'll just talk about it. So the reason why I deleted the videos was because of the fact that, and I actually just made them private, I didn't delete them, but the reason why is because I got a notification today from somebody else that was on a different channel. I forget the guy's name. It's like Corey something or another. And he has a video about how to pick a good Connie Corso breeder. And there were people on there that were basically recommending my channel and my dogs, and then my loyal haters, my obsessed anti-fans, I kind of like that, anti-fans, were on there, trying to basically slander me at every opportunity they could. They were trying to just bully and slander, and that's what they do. Like on Facebook, it's really common. That's why I've told people before really not to try to defend me, because they will bully you. They will basically, if you don't agree with what they agree with, they will try to bully you into submission, which is funny because one of their criticisms of me is that I shouldn't be putting dogs in submissive posture because it's abusive and blah, blah, blah. But they have no problem bullying the crap out of other people and just being wretched people to anybody that disagrees with them or doesn't go along with whatever theories or feelings that they have on a certain subject. And so anyway, this individual who sent me this stuff basically was like, this could hurt your brand, and they felt that it was inappropriate for these people to be doing this and talking about me the way that they're talking about me and making up lies. So I've been kind of doing this whole approach of basically just ignoring it. When I'm on Facebook, I block anybody that is just going to be, abusive to me. And I try to just stay on my channel and stay off of other people's channel, because I know that that's where the people that don't like me are. In fact, basically, their whole thing is like anybody but Rachel. You know what I mean? Like, you can be a horrible breeder, but if it's not Rachel, then it's awesome. And it just, I find it somewhat mind-boggling because it's just, I guess I don't get the enthusiasm at which they go after me. You know what I mean? Like, I was talking with my best friend Reese today, and I went on to the Dallas Craigslist, and there was like no less than like 8 backyard breeders on there selling puppies on Craigslist for cheap. And one guy was even like selling all his puppies with breeding rights, no health testing, no nothing. Like, in the world of bad breeders, I I pale in comparison. Even if you wanted to characterize me as a bad breeder, there are like I'm not even on the list of like the worst. You know what I mean? So if a person really wants to like go like make a difference, right? And go after bad breeders, why on earth would they focus on somebody who health tests their dogs, has registered dogs, doesn't sell with breeding rights, films everything, takes care of, very transparent. I've rehomed more dogs out of my program for reasons like temperament and health than any other breeder that I've ever heard of. Literally, I can't even tell you. I can't name a breeder who's been as selective as I have. But apparently, I'm a horrible breeder and I shouldn't be able to breed and yada yada yada. And to answer somebody's question, no, Corey did not mention my kennel by name. I don't think he was even talking about me. But like I said, people that don't like me, if you make a video about the Connie Corso, people that don't like me are gonna get on there and they're gonna talk trash. And other people's channels actually contacted me, people, and they were like, look, they were like, I don't know what to do because these people are on here talking crap about you and I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. And these people don't recognize that when they take their drama, their slander, and they put it on other people's channels, it involves them. And a lot of people don't want to be involved in that. And so what I told them to do is literally block my channel name. Because the only way to prevent those people from being able to just flood and spam their comment section with nothing other than bullying and trash talking and stuff that has nothing to do with what these people are actually making videos about is to literally remove my channel name from being able to show up, which I told them to do. I was like, this is what you're gonna have to do. Don't worry about it. I won't be offended at all. You know what I mean? I do what I do and it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? But anyway, the reason that I took those videos down is because of the fact that I realized that I can't be as honest as I want to be with people. You know what I mean? I have to be wary of people that are going to take things that I say out of context and they're going to twist it into a narrative that fits what they want people to believe, which is that I'm a horrible, bad backyard breeder and that I shouldn't be able to breed and that I'm a horrible person. And it's kind of like that who is it, Jack Nicholson in that one movie? And he's like, you can't handle the truth. It's like that. You know what I mean? It's like that. It's not that I don't want to be able to be honest. It's that there isn't like, you know, and I want to be clear. I don't want you guys to go around trying to like fight my battles for me. You know what I mean? I've said it before. Don't try to defend me, you know, because you're going to get bullied. If you want to go there and you don't care, then fine. Like Terry Davis, she's always got my back. I love you, girl. She never backs down. She knows me better than most. You know what I'm saying? She's not going to put up with it. And if you're like Terry and you can handle the bullying, then by all means, go ahead and do so. Thank you, Chloe. But overall, you're gonna get basically they don't like me and they hang out in groups and they also communicate. So for example, if I comment on something, they let each other know and they're like, oh God, she commented, Rachel commented, come on over, everybody come on over, let's bully Rachel. And so be prepared for that it'll be little OU against their whole montage of haters who apparently have nothing better to do in their lives than wait for a chat message to follow rank and order and get in and trash talk and really spam another person's YouTube channel that has nothing to do with it. This guy is literally trying to make a video about how to identify a good breeder, and people are just ruining the chat with slanderous comments about me because they don't like me. And I feel sorry for those creators because it's like it's they have to go through and they have to moderate their comment sections with a bunch of stuff that they don't even really want to be involved in. And these people that do this have no concept of maturity to recognize that it's inappropriate. You know what I mean? If they want to talk amongst themselves, or they want to go on Reddit and start a thread, or they just want to make a whole Facebook, I hate Rachel, I hate Sensitive Connie Corso, whatever. Like, create your own platform to hate on me. By all means, do so. It's a free country. But don't go on other people's pages that are trying to actually put out good content and just spam it with all your feelings and emotions. It's just ridiculous. And typically I ignore it. Typically I know they're out there. It's kind of like swimming in the ocean. You know there are sharks, right? And you try to just go out and enjoy the ocean anyway. You know what I mean? And that's what I try to do. I really try to recognize that, and I try to just kind of move on with my life and not really pay much mind to it. But you know, today, like I said, this person sent me this stuff I didn't even know. I should have known. Like I said, it doesn't matter who it is. Any Corso channel, there's somebody that's gonna say, oh, you know, somebody was even like, oh, she has sick dogs, blah blah blah. Okay. You know, apparently I have sick dogs and I film them all the time, and nobody can tell or whatever. Who knows? I don't know. But anyway, I did want to take some time today to just kind of dispel some things that were said, and also, like I said, to kind of address some things. So, like I said, the reason I deleted the videos is not because, thank you, Chloe, is not because I don't agree with what I said. I absolutely do. When I say something, I mean it. If something else happens that makes me change my mind, thank you, Heidi, I will absolutely say I changed my mind. I used to feel this way, now I feel this way, and here is why I feel this way. You guys know me. I'm you know, brutally honest to a fault. Okay, I probably put too much information out there. That's what I've been told. And I would agree with that to some point. And so one of the criticisms that was made of me was that the reason that Admiral's feet, his pasterns, are so bad and his feet are so flat is because I keep him kenneled all day. Now, those of you that know me know that I don't kennel my dogs all day. I film my dogs, and not to mention that if I kennel my dogs all the time, then why don't they all have flat feet? Why don't they all have weak pasterns? Those that have been watching me for a really long time know that Batista came to me with his pasterns down. In fact, the breeder told me that his pasterns were down, which is very common with import dogs. And I got him back up on his feet. That means that I got him standing straight back up again. I wouldn't have been able to have done that if the way that I'm keeping my dogs is causing that type of thing to happen. I spoke with the breeder about it because I was concerned, and I actually showed him pictures of Admiral when he was a puppy. You can see it. I posted the pictures when he was a puppy. He was down on his pasterns and his feet are flat. He was like that when I got him. So to sit here and say that I'm the reason that he's like that is ridiculous. There's literal photographic evidence to state that that's not actually true. Another accusation that was made is that because of the fact that Cashmere was on a limited ingredient diet, these puppies are all going to have bone problems. Thank you, Amber. And it's like, that makes absolutely no sense. First of all, she was on a very high quality diet, literally cost me a fortune to feed her. And I know plenty of breeders who actually breed raw. They literally feed 2 ingredients, chicken and beef. So to sit there and claim that because she was on a limited ingredient diet, that somehow that means that my puppies are going to have bone issues is ridiculous. It's not true at all. And it's just crazy how far people will take it. I had another person, we did a video yesterday putting the dogs down, and Savannah used her leg to kind of push Batista a little bit. She didn't kick him at all. Like anybody, that video is still up. She didn't kick him, yet people are on there accusing her of kicking the dogs, which is ridiculous. I did tell her not to use her feet because of people like that. Not because I felt she was hurting the dog, but because people will take anything and try to twist it into something that it's not. And, it's like celebrities have the paparazzi and they have like tabloids, you know what I mean? And YouTubers have trolls. We just have these people that just follow us around and they just love to hate us for no reason. I don't get it. There's 100 other breeders out there that are, heck, more than that are unbelievably bad breeders. You know what I mean? And you won't even see me put them on blast. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was talking with Reese today, and I was upset about it, because I was like, how do these people justify their behavior? You know what I mean? Like you say, these people say, oh, I'm trying to stand up for the breed. I'm trying to stand up for what's right. I'm trying to stop you from hurting the breed. Okay, all right, that's fine, whatever. But where is your effort when it comes to people that are doing much worse? If you perceive me to be bad, fine, whatever, I'll give you that. But what about the people that are out there breeding dogs and selling them on Craigslist with no health testing, letting every single person who buys a dog breed the dog from them, selling to anybody and everybody? What about the mixed, the people? I saw some Malinois, Husky, Corso puppies. Just go onto the Dallas Craigslist and look for Connie Corso, and you will find breeders on there. And they actually put their kennel name up there. I even looked, and the guy had a Facebook. No trash talk on his Facebook. He even still has his reviews up. I had to take my reviews down because people were trash talking me in my review section on my Facebook page. So I had to take it down. And it's like, but so these people claim that they're trying to stand up for the breed and they're trying to do what's right and blah 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 blah. Yet that's not what their actions actually indicate. And I guess I don't. And let me be very clear. I don't care. I recognize that no matter what. Thank you, David. No matter what, you'll as what's her name says. What's her name? Savannah, the country singer I like so much. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea.
Go your own arrow or whatever.
Yeah, the follow your own arrow. Who remembers that girl's name? Casey Musgraves. Yes, Casey Musgraves. She has this song about go your own whatever, and you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And I get that. It doesn't matter what I do. I will never, ever make everybody happy. That's the truth. It doesn't matter if I stopped breeding my females back to back. It doesn't matter if I stopped cropping my dog's ears. It doesn't matter if I kept my puppies until they were 12 weeks old. Thank you, Cecilia. It doesn't matter if I stopped doing training the way I do and I started training all of them. It would not matter. I would still have people that don't like me. In fact, it would just be different people. You know what I mean? And actually probably a lot of the same, to be honest with you. And I think that the reason why, I've really thought a lot about this, and I think that I know the reason why, especially people on YouTube. Now, I will say that celebrities get their fair share of crap. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't be popular and have all people like you. If your life is out in the open, people are going to hate on you and they're going to judge you, and that's just the way it is, and I get that. But what I really think the thing is when it comes to the community of people that don't like me in the breeding community, quit. I think that it's because of the fact that that they see me as an equal, right? It's one thing if somebody that you don't know, that you've never met in your life, becomes famous or popular, and I'm in no way claiming that I'm famous, so don't get it twisted. But that I'll give you an example. I'll make it personal because you guys know how I am. So I used to work in an internet marketing company. And one of the guys that I worked with, there was 3 of us there, and we were selling website services and things like that. And our part of the company ended up going under because it just wasn't as profitable as the company wanted it to be. And one of the guys that worked with me actually stayed on. Now, he made more sales than me, not by a long shot, but I actually made the company more money. I made bigger sales. I've been in sales a lot in my life. Used to sell fake snow in the mall. I mean, I've sold a lot of stuff, but he stayed on with the company and he learned this thing called SEO. I'm sure you guys have heard of it, search engine optimization. And he ended up starting his own company and ended up in about 2 to 3 years making millions of dollars a year. Okay. Thank you, Tricky Troy. And I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't petty. I didn't go out of my way to attack this guy or anything like that. But it did kind of make me feel some kind of way, if that makes sense. Like I was slightly jealous. Now he was a friend of mine and we still hung out and we still did stuff like that. But internally, I was slightly jealous because I saw him as a peer. I didn't really see what was different between us. And I recognized that he got to a level that I wished that I could be at. And I didn't. I wasn't there. You know what I mean? And I was slightly jealous. Now, like I said, I didn't take it out on him. I didn't try to destroy his reputation. I did nothing to hurt this guy or anything like that. All I did was try to better myself. You know, and I think that's the difference about people is some people use those kinds of opportunities to recognize that they want more in life and to work harder and to better themselves and to kind of look at that other person and see what did they do differently so that they can better themselves. Thank you, Chevy boy. And some people sit there and they get petty and they get jealous and they try to ruin that person's reputation. All of the effort that they could be putting into bettering their life and making something of themselves, they waste it trying to take the other person down. And it's like it's wasted effort because whether a person succeeds or not isn't going to be based on the amount of trash talking that you spent on trying to tear them down. And I think that's what it is. I think that the reason why these people are really trying to go after me so hardcore in the breeding community is because of the fact that they see me as a peer. At one point, I was just like them, right? On Facebook, selling... Sorry, Misha is a bit exuberant right now. Thank you, Cecilia. Sorry, I'm helping her get the food bowl because she's playing with the food bowl and making a bunch of racket. So I think that these people, we were all on Facebook together, right? We're all on the same groups, all on the same stuff. And I think that they saw me as just like them. And then all of a sudden, I did something different, right? I didn't conform to the Facebook groups. I didn't bow down to the Facebook bullies, the breeding community bullies who say you only buy from these lines, you only breed in this certain way, you only do these certain things. I actually did my own thing, and I was rewarded by that, okay? I was able to make it to a different level of success than they did because I did things differently. As they say, you will, if you keep doing the same thing, or if you keep doing the same thing, you'll always get the same results. If you want to do get something better out of life, you have to do something different. And that's what I did. And I think that's a big reason why they feel that they can really come for me on a personal level. And a lot of them, what I've noticed is they'll talk about me like they know me, which I find to be very interesting. They'll say things like, I know what she's really like. I know the truth about her. I know the inside. I blah, 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 blah. And I find that to be very telling because what it says to me is that they see me as their peer, and they don't like the fact that I succeeded while breaking their rules, right? And I've always kind of been a rule breaker. Literally, I have. And I'm just like that. I don't enjoy going with the crowd. You know what I mean? In fact, I'm the kind of person like if I if I like a particular artist, like a musician, like I'll give you an example. What's her name? Doja Cat, right? Doja Cat. I've been listening to Doja Cat for a while. And another one, the Black Keys, right? I used to love I still do. I love the Black Keys. But whenever it became really popular and everybody's just listening to it, and I just kind of was like, I don't know. It's a personality fault of mine, to be honest with you, where I will, different. Yeah. Like I feel that I need to, like, I don't know. I just don't like necessarily being a part of the crowd, if that makes sense. And so anyway, you know, that's just kind of how I am, you know what I mean? And so it isn't anything for me to go against whatever is popular, you know what I mean? And that's why I was able to kind of break away from the breeding community. Not to mention, it's an easy community to break away from. Thank you, Amber. Because if you actually got onto the groups and you saw the way that they treat each other and the way that they talk about each other, it is so disheartening. It's like that crab analogy where you have a bucket full of crabs, and then one of them keeps trying to come up, and then all the other ones, as soon as one starts to get out, the other ones pull it down. That's exactly what it's like. And I just saw it, and I didn't want to be a part of it. And so I literally just left the groups, and I didn't try to be friends with anybody, and I didn't buy dogs from any of those people, and I really just did my own thing. And so I think that just makes people mad. They don't like it whenever you don't try your best to fit in with them and do whatever it is that they are doing. And so anyway, that's my theory as to why these people really come for me. Thank you, Susie Q. This one girl, and I'm not going to say her name. Let's just say that the very first word of her name on YouTube is crazy. And I was like, wow, that's extremely, extremely fitting for this woman's personality. Every single time that somebody would say, oh, check out Senza Tempo Connie Corso, she's awesome, blah, 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 this girl would get on and be like, oh, what makes you say that, blah, 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 blah. Like it's just so petty. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to agree with somebody else's opinion, but they have a right to their own opinion. But this girl doesn't think so. And that's the thing about these haters of mine, is that they don't believe that you have a right to like who you like. That's the truth. They don't believe that. They think that you should like who they like, and you should support who they support. And you don't have the right to choose what breeder you want to go to, any of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? That's literally what it is. Thank you, Tricky Troy. And so I just want people to be aware of that. You know what I mean? That it's one of those things where you have to really be aware of the type of people that are making these kinds of complaints. And so while I don't want to get on to these people's pages or onto these other people's pages and really involve myself in the drama, thank you, Capricorn. I just want to take the time to basically tell you guys that you don't want to take your advice or information from people that are biased, from people that don't like somebody else. You know what I mean? And it's just the way it is. And don't go to another breeder and ask that breeder's opinion of a breeder, because you would not go to Ford and ask their opinion of what a Chevy is like, right? I mean, obviously, you know what I'm saying? There are some breeders that work together, and you may very well get honest answers when they work together and they're partnering, like say Reese and I are, right? But you wouldn't go to somebody that is not a partner of mine and say, hey, what do you think about Rachel? Thank you, Jill. Because obviously they're going to tell you that they don't like me, and they're going to make up all these reasons as to why. Thank you, Greg. And it's like, of course they would, right? Like, of course, I can't even blame them for that. They're trying to make their money, and that is just the reality of it. So, I can't even judge them for it. You know what I mean? But it is a silly thing to do. You know what I mean? Somebody had a criticism of me, which I don't even believe. They were like, I asked 3 non-US breeders about Rachel, and they said she shouldn't even be breeding. And it's like, first of all, okay, I don't even believe that. First of all, very few people that are not US breeders even know who I am, and the ones that do actually like me. So, which is why I was invited to Europe. You know what I mean? And I had a great experience over there, totally different than the kind of breeders that are over here in America. There are multiple reasons why people in America don't like me. One of them is because I have actually exposed the fact that there is a genetic difference between the American Corso and the European Corso, and they don't like that. They don't like it. And I get it. I totally get it. You know what I mean? If I had my money invested in a certain thing and somebody came on and said that thing is inferior to this other thing, then it would actually make me mad too, right? Like I wouldn't want that. Now, me being me, I would actually probably just say, oh, well, I made a mistake. Guess I'm just going to have to change up my game. That's just kind of how I am. You guys know that. I bought American dogs and I got rid of a lot of them. You know what I mean? I did. And so, because obviously I didn't feel that was correct for my program. Having said that, I've also gotten rid of European dogs because I didn't like the temperament. Obviously, you guys know about Gina. Thank you, Brittany. So I'm always going to do what I believe is right. And that isn't going to make people happy a lot of the time, and I get that. But I hope that people can at least respect the fact that I am doing what I believe is right. And I'm actually taking the time to have those thoughts. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not just, a backyard breeder would breed everything. They wouldn't care what the temperament's like. They would just breed it to breed it. I have lost so much money on dogs. I gave Gina away. And well, the lady paid me like $50, but truthfully, I had to drive 3 hours there, 3 hours back. I mean, in my vehicle, I pretty much paid for my gas. You know what I mean? If I was a backyard breeder, I wouldn't have done that. I would have kept her. I would have bred her. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. So it is slightly frustrating because when I look at these people's channels and I see these comments about me, I see these people who don't know who I am. And they're like, well, I don't know who she is. Who's she? And the only opinion or perspective that they're getting of me is these trolls, right? These people that just have an agenda against me. And I do find that to be troubling because because it is wrong. And there may get to a time when I actually try to start sending out cease and desist letters to people, because some of these people, I actually know who they are. Like they have actual, thank you, Angelica. They have actual, what is it called? Facebook accounts. And so I can actually see who they are, and or even they'll have like videos up on their channel that say their name and things like that. So it wouldn't be impossible for me to do that. However, then one has to question, is it even worth my time? Because in the end, they may stop doing it on that one, but they're just going to create a fake channel and do the same thing. So it becomes a point where I think that it may not even be worth it. But I don't really know, and maybe you guys can give me some advice on this. I don't want to participate in conversations with trolls, and I don't want to give them the time of day. But I also don't want for people that could benefit from my channel to be lied to and to be convinced that I'm something that I'm not. And I don't know if maybe I should have a video on the front page of my channel that really goes into who I am, or, I'm really open to thoughts, about, what you guys think that I could do to kind of combat this in a positive way that really doesn't give people that doesn't give the trolls the ability to just slander me. You know what I mean? And so, I don't know. So it is a weird deal, because on one end I have a brand, and I feel the need to protect that brand. But on the other side, I also know that it's really important not to feed trolls. And the more that you respond to them and the more energy that you give them, the more empowered they feel and the more they come after you. Because in reality, it's like a child throwing a temper tantrum. They just want attention. Even if it's negative attention, they want attention. And so it's a double-edged sword, and I'm not quite sure how to go about it. As far as blocking them, they are blocked on my channel. That's why they go around and spam other breeders' channels, or not even a breeder. You don't even have to be a breeder. That guy, Corey, is not even a breeder. He's just a guy who has a Corso, and he's making videos about his Corso, and there's people that are spamming his channel with a bunch of hate comments about me. And so anyway, so I don't know. Like I said, I want the ability to kind of be able to put the truth about me out there, where people can find easily. But like I said, I don't want to feed the trolls, for lack of a better term. So that's kind of where I'm at. I I mean, maybe I should put like an FAQ out. So, to kind of like go into things, because it just, every time that there's a criticism made of me, um, I try to kind of address it, right? And like, for example, there was a person that really didn't like me, and he was going everywhere trying to criticize me, saying I don't health test my dogs, I don't health test my dogs. And it's because he doesn't watch my channel. I have not put videos up, or pardon me, I have not put the health testing results up on my website, mostly because I've just been, I'm honestly, I work so much that I'm pretty tired, and it's hard for me to just find the time to do things like that. But having said that, the guy was like, he's like, well, then go put your health testing up. And it's like, well, look, I made videos about it, but you know what? Just for you, I will go and I will put all my health testing records up on my Facebook. And I did. I put them all up, and, legit, not even just x-rays, like flat out all my health testing results, the numbers, and I put the good and the bad. And, and then that stopped. And so then they had to jump to something else. And it really goes to show that it isn't about a legitimate complaint about me. It's just, they just don't like me. And if I change something, or if I showed them that they were wrong about something, they'll just jump to something else. And so, and it also puts me in a weird position, because, for example, the breeder that I bought Admiral from, like for me to sit here and defend myself, I have to admit the fact that the dog came to me like that. You know what I mean? And what does that say about the breeder? Like, if I was a breeder and I sold a dog to somebody, and maybe it, obviously it wasn't perfect, and then a bunch of people were blaming that person for something that the dog had when it was born, and that person defends themselves, rightfully so, indicating that the puppy came that way. If I was any lesser of a person, I might be mad and be like, oh, well, now you're talking crap about me, right? And how do I know that he won't take it that way? But the reality is, and through conversation, I showed him. I literally circled it on my phone, and I showed him the feet and the pasterns. They were down when I got the dog. And he didn't seem to be in any way like aggressive or angry or anything about it. He basically said that, he does some things. He has some things that he does to try to help it. If they don't come up, they don't come up. You know what I mean? And he says, it's really hard for these really heavy dogs like Admiral to be really straight in the front. He admitted that to me. So it's kind of one of those things where as breeders, we can talk about that kind of stuff. And what's funny is, in Europe, that's actually not in any way weird. Like, what I found was the breeders in Europe are much more mature. So to be offended about the fact that your dog has a fault is really petty and immature in Europe, because they know that there's no such thing as a perfect dog. Every dog has some kind of issue, and we're all working to better the breed. And in order to better the breed, you have to be honest about where your dogs are strong and where your dogs are weak, so that you can breed up, meaning that you can look at where your dog is weak and say, all right, well, maybe this dog is low on his pasterns and his feet are flat, but this dog over here's got great pasterns, got great feet, and I'm going to breed it to that one. You know what I mean? And so in order to be a good breeder, you have to be able to acknowledge weaknesses that a dog has. And in America, people take it as an insult. And it really kind of like prevents people from being good breeders. And I do think that that's a big reason why the American dogs are lacking so much in structure, in a way that not all, but many European dogs are not. Now, having said that, there is always going to be an exception to the rule. But in general, the breeders that I was hanging out with in Europe have much better dogs than what you see in America. And so, so I just wish that we could be honest, that we could be transparent and not kind of hide, like not have to kind of tiptoe around when a dog isn't perfect. You know what I mean? Which is why I'm very open and honest with you guys about my dog's faults. You know what I mean? I've told you guys where my dogs are weak, where my dogs are strong. And I've even turned people away. Like a guy wanted to do a breeding with his female and Preacher, but his female had a bad croup. And I told him, look, you don't want to breed to Preacher. Preacher doesn't have a good croup. Your female doesn't have a good croup. And we're going to breed really faulty dogs, you know? And I sent that guy and all his money to my best friend Reese because her dog has an excellent croup. And that's why. And so I was trying to do what is right for the breed. And do I get any praise for that? Absolutely not. Would other breeders have done that? Probably not. They probably just would have went ahead and took the man's money. You know what I mean? If he doesn't know any better, whatever, they'll take his money anyway. He should know better. You know what I mean? And I'm not like that. I do try to educate. And so I don't know, like I said, what the best way to do this is. But I did want to address why I deleted those videos. It's not because I don't agree with what I said. It's not because I've changed my mind. It's not because I feel differently. It's because there are people out there that are trying to sabotage me and destroy my reputation every opportunity that they get. And they will take anything that I say out of context, any behavior that I do, any training that I do, they will just take it all. The fact that one of them, this is so ridiculous. One of them said, because I told Preacher, don't give me that face, I don't want to see that face. He was criticizing me for saying that to my dog. And it's like, oh my God, how sensitive can you be? You know what I mean? It's so ridiculous. And I just keep thinking to myself, like, why don't you post your videos of you and all your unspayed and unneutered dogs being out around each other? I want to see that. I want to see you prove that you can do what I do with your strictly positive, happy, soft voice, nothing but compliments to your dog training. I just want to see it, okay? Because I don't believe that you can do it. And I think there's a reason that most other breeders keep their dogs in kennels. They keep them kenneled up all the time. And sure, you may have a 10 by 10 foot kennel and you might think that's awesome and that you're a super awesome person for having your dogs in this big wide kennel. But the reality of the situation is you're not indicating that you are able to control your dogs. And you might be able to teach that dog to sit and lay down and stay and bite a sleeve and go and attack somebody on command. That's all fine and dandy, okay? That's a much easier thing to do than to control the natural instincts of a dog to keep them from wanting to attack each other and compete with each other. That's a whole nother area of training that people just completely ignore. They don't do it, and they act like they're so much better whenever they can't even do it. And I tell you what, I challenge any breeders that are watching, anybody else that's got it, I challenge you. Put them out there. I want to see all your dogs out together like I do with mine. I want to see them out together, and I want to see them not fighting. All your unspayed females and all your unneutered males, and I want to see them running, and I want to see them playing like mine do. And I want to see whether or not you can handle that, because most people can't. Can some people? Sure, absolutely. But most people can't. And the people that can are often like me. Because we see the animals for what they are. We treat them like they treat each other. We don't try to treat them like delicate little snowflakes, like little, cute little stuffed animals that will, break down if you play with it too rough or whatever. We just don't do that. We treat them as they are. We accept them for who they are naturally. And anybody that's got a problem with me putting a dog into submissive posture, I want to see you get so mad at Kashmir for putting a dog in submissive posture. And if you don't have a problem with it, then I want to know why. What is the difference between me putting a dog in submissive posture and a dog putting a dog in submissive posture? That's what I want to understand, because it makes no logical sense. Dogs are not children. You don't treat them like children. Do I go around putting my daughter in submissive posture? Absolutely not, because she's a human.
That'd be embarrassing.
That would be embarrassing, Savannah. That would be pretty funny though too. That's so funny. That would be a good video if we went in public and, and I did that in front of stores and stuff, and I'm like, "You get down right now, Savannah. You get into submissive posture," and I had her like lay down in a Target store. That would be hysterical. That would be abuse. But treating a dog the way that they treat each other, communicating to them in a language that they understand, is not abuse. You wouldn't go to China and expect people to speak English. You would speak to them in Chinese, or at least get a translator. You know what I mean? Thank you, Angelica.
Or
But
not talk to somebody.
yeah, or you just wouldn't talk. Like, you know what I mean? You don't ask something else to communicate in the way that you want them to communicate in. You try your best to communicate on their level in their language. And
Don't talk at all.
and that's what I do. That's all I do. I'm not making up my own theories of dog training. It's not a human method. Somebody kept asking me, and they were like, "Well, why is it that you do this? You know, where did you get this from?" And it's like, look at the dogs. Look at the dogs. You know what I mean? Thank you, Hannah. Like, look at the dogs. The dogs are doing it. I'm responding to what the dogs are doing, right? If you watch Monty Roberts, who's a horse trainer, and you ask him, "Well, Monty, how did you develop that method that you've got?" He will tell you that when he was young, he used to watch Mustangs, and he watched the way that they interact with each other, and he started mimicking those same behaviors. Thank you, Derek. And he was able to get to a whole nother level of understanding and training with the horses by speaking to them in their own language and not asking them to change their entire way of thinking into the human way because that's convenient for them or because it makes them feel better inside. Because what the real problem here with these people who don't like submissive posture is they're selfish. They don't like hurting what they consider to be hurting their dog's feelings. It hurts them inside. It hurts their feelings. And so instead of treating the animal the way that the animal needs to be treated, the way that the animals treat each other, they are selfish and they say, "No, I'm not going to do that because I don't like it. I don't want to do it. So I'm going to tell the dog to do what I want the dog to do because that's what I want." It is selfish. And they parade around as though they're better and they're loving and they're selfless and all this stuff. And it's just absolute selfishness is what it is. If you are really a good person, you're going to give the dog what it needs. You're going to communicate on a level that they understand. And that's what I do. That's all I do. And if I thought that it was wrong, I wouldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason that I put it out on video. I'm you know what I mean? I'm not like I said, if I had any embarrassment over, if I thought it was a bad thing, do you think I would really be putting it out there for everybody to see? Obviously not. Thank you, Chastity. So, and that's another thing that I think is funny too, is somebody talked about the anthropomorphism. I can never say that word, but as a Texan, I take the right to, I mispronounce words all the time. But what I thought was interesting is a lot of the people that don't like that training, they say, "Oh, it's mean. It's mean. It's abusive. It's mean." But yet they never, ever stop and think, then why do dogs do it to each other? Are dogs mean or are they just dogs? You know what I mean? And in order for something to be mean, like for example, right? If somebody cussed you out in a language that you didn't understand and you couldn't directly tell that they were cussing you out, would it be mean? Would it hurt your feelings? Would you feel any kind of way about it? No, because you don't know the meaning of those words to take offense to. But when somebody cusses you out in a language that you understand, you know the meaning of those words. And so it does hurt your feelings, right? So in order for a dog to think that being put in submissive posture is mean, they would have to not understand why I'm doing it. They would have to respond as though I'm being mean, and they don't, because they absolutely know what I'm doing and why I'm telling them to do it. So it doesn't make any sense. And so I don't know. So anyway, that's my rant for the night. That's why I took the video down, because I have to I have to protect myself. I have to protect my brand. Thank you, Jill. And the reality is that I get up here and I know you guys and you're all very supportive and I appreciate it. And I get really comfortable thinking that I can just tell you guys whatever. And I can just kind of be honest and kind of, say my thoughts and my feelings and whatever. And I don't realize that you guys are not the only ones watching. You know what I mean? There are people that hate me that are watching, that are looking for any opportunity to try to destroy my reputation, to twist something that I've said into something that it's not, and to try to create an image of me that's not true. And unfortunately, because there are people that don't know about me, they can have an impact. And that's why I have to be careful. And so so that's kind of where I'm at on it. And I am going to be a little bit different about the way that I do videos. I'm not, I'm not going to not show the training and things like that, but when I have thoughts that may go against the grain, I probably just won't say them, because the reality is that things can get twisted. And you do have to be careful about what you say these days, because when people don't like you and they don't like what you say, they try to destroy you. We don't live in a society anymore where people have the freedom to have different thoughts and different, training methods and all this stuff. There used to be a time when there was all different kinds of trainers, and there was all different kinds of horse trainers and all different kinds of dog trainers and all different kinds of everything. But apparently now you either conform or they will try to destroy you. That's what it is. You either agree with them or they will destroy you, and or try to, for that matter. And I just have to be, I just have to be careful about that. And and the reality is that, I told you guys, I have to conform to the law. Regardless of how I feel, I have to conform to the law. So the videos about my feelings about when puppies should leave their mother is entirely irrelevant, because of the fact that I'm bound by law to hold my puppies back until they're 8 weeks of age. But I guarantee you that what's going to end up happening is these people, they're going to get on all the groups and forums and they're going to say, oh, Rachel lets her puppies go too young. She's a horrible breeder and she doesn't love her puppies and she takes them away from their mommy. And those puppies are going to be scarred for life because they really need their mommy, and blah, blah, blah. And and it's like, and it's just ridiculous. And I roll my eyes and I literally sit there and I think to myself, like, just where do these people come from? You mean, like, who has that much time to sit there and and trash people like that and watch and hate and all that stuff? Like, how horrible and miserable do you have to be so filled with hate that you're like that? And the biggest thing to me is I was raised in the South, you know what I mean? Like I believe in treating people the way you want to be treated. I as many of you know, I didn't grow up on a good side of town, and where I was raised, you know what I mean? Like, you give respect, you get respect, and you don't have people out there just talking smack because, you'll get dealt with. That's just the reality of the situation. So you keep your mouth shut, and you respect people, and that's just kind of what it is. And nowadays in this anonymous internet world, people just pop off at the mouth, you know what I mean? And there's no consequences, and you can just be anonymous. And I don't get it. I don't understand how, as a decent human being, you can hurt, or not hurt, but try to hurt someone, literally, like call them out their name and try to ruin their reputation and troll them and even talk crap about my daughter. Like, how do you, as a decent person, go around trying to be so negative to somebody that's never done anything to you? How do you justify your actions? That's my biggest question, is how are you, any kind of decent human being, if you can be hurtful and mean to somebody that's never done that to you? I think that on its own should be, you know what I mean? Like I can understand if we're talking about a person that's done something horrible, right? Like, maybe if you were Like, I don't want to get into a whole Michael Vick thing, but it's understandable that people had feelings about him. It's understandable that people were making comments and things like that because he did something really horrible. It's not just an opinion. Well, it's a different method. No, that's just horrible. Some things really are black and white. But to sit there and try to be hateful and hurtful to somebody just because you don't like their training methods, or just because you don't like the dogs they breed, thank you, Leslie, or because, pardon me, or because you don't, whatever, put whatever into that sentence you want, to me is totally, it just shows a lack of moral compass. You can't look in the mirror and have any self-respect if you can act that way to other people. You just can't. And I don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, I there are plenty of other breeders that I could get on here and I could just, oh my God, just for clout. You know what I mean? I could totally do that. Just, you know how many videos I could make where I could just get up and I could be like, oh, here's a breeder and this person doesn't health test and this is a horrible breeder. I mean, I've told you, I literally took screenshots and sent them to my best friend because I was like, look at all these people doing things much worse than me in the same community, and you will not see these trolls who think that they're the guardians of the breed attacking these people, even though they're doing worse than what I'm, and I hate saying worse than me because I don't feel that I'm doing anything wrong in the first place, but I could make so much content if I just got on the hate bandwagon. If I just decided to just say, you know what? I'm just going to make all this content and all these views trying to tear other people down. Because believe me, a lot of people just love the drama. But I don't. I just don't. And there's also people that like ask me to do videos about that stuff. Thank you, Finley. Where they'll, like, people ask me to do, a video on what was it, on many people, I mean, just name it, like the Corey guy, which really I don't think there's anything wrong with what he did. He just exposed a bad breeder, but they wanted me to do a video about that. And the thing that went through my head was, which he probably doesn't even know, is, and I will not say any names, but there is a Texas breeder who's very popular, although I think he bought most of the likes on his Instagram. And he actually photoshops his own pictures of his dogs to make them look bigger than what they are. And I could put that guy on blast. I could literally zoom in on his pictures and actually show you where he's doing it and all that. I could definitely do that. And I would be right. I would be right. I would be 100% right in it, but you know what? I don't do it. He's even been called out on it before by the community. I don't do it. You know what I mean? I really just let people fight their own fight, let people do their own thing. I do my thing, you do your thing, and we'll let the chips fall where they may. If you want to try to be successful doing it the wrong way, by all means do that. You know what I mean? I will leave it to the people whenever they go over and they see his Instagram pictures and then they go to his house and they see that the dogs are not actually what they look like, right? Like, obviously, you would definitely, you're going to see that, right? So I just don't think it's my responsibility to go around policing other people. I worry about my kennel, my business. And if there was one time whenever I actually spoke out about a breeder, one time, and I'll own that. Thank you, Spooky. One time where I just felt that it was just ridiculous. This person was claiming that their dog was something that it wasn't, and they were really trying to get views. And you want to talk about a puppy mill, this guy's a well-known puppy mill. But I actually realized that it wasn't the kind of person that I wanted to be, and I took the video down. You know what I mean? Because it's not my duty to do that. Thank you, Smokey. And I just don't want to be that kind of person. I don't want to make my living off of tearing other people down. You know what I mean? That's not a good way to, I don't feel good when I wake up in the morning thinking that I made my last dollar tearing somebody else down. That's not, that I just can't live like that. So, I guess, that's just kind of where I'm at on it. And, Savannah, do you have anything to say? No? Okay. So I'm just going to keep focusing on I'm just going to keep focusing on me and my kennel. And if you have a question, please just ask me. If you're new to the channel and you don't know who I am, please just ask me. I'm an open book. If I don't respond right away, ask Terry Davis. You'd be hard pressed to find somebody that knows more about me than her. She can even point you to the video where I talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
She's like the
there,
dictionary at the end of the
yeah, there are
dictionary.
many people, in fact, not just Terry Davis, but there are many people on my channel that really know who I am. They've been on this channel a long time, and they can tell you where I've said things, where I've done things, and where the information is to disprove things that are being said about me, and just, you know, try to find the truth. Don't just believe the hate, because that's what perpetuates it. You know what I mean? When we all just stop feeding into that stuff and listening to those people, they will stop. When enough people stand up and say, you know what, you're just jealous and you're petty and you're negative and you're miserable and you're wrong, and you show where they're wrong, then I think that kind of stuff will stop. So yeah, so I guess that's kind of where I'm at. And I'm just going to keep, you know, like I said, focusing on me and trying to put out good content for you guys, and good videos with the new pups, and kind of just what we've got going on here. You know what I mean? Somebody's asking, yes, these puppies are sold. Keeping this one for myself. Thank you, Eric. And yeah, I mean, that's just what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? I'm just going to keep trying to do what I believe is right. And I'm going to keep trying to put out content that you guys love. And if you ever have any requests for content, please just let me know. I'm always open to suggestions. And maybe we need to do that prank video where we put Savannah in submissive posture.
I do not. Because there's no consent on my side.
You don't consent, Savannah?
I don't know.
Savannah does not consent, you guys. Maybe not. Maybe we won't be able to do
It
it.
depends, okay? Maybe I might change my mind. I don't know.
Just to troll the trolls, you know what I mean? Just to make. Could you imagine?
That's what my daughter
Could
is.
you imagine the reactions that we would get from people, you guys?
They believe she's sideways, hey.
You stop hurting that baby girl. You stop abusing that baby girl. Oh God. Oh geez. Totally a joke though, obviously. But anyway, but yeah.
Watch how somebody would try to like call CPS.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, I know. Yeah, they would call CPS. They would literally put my license plate in and call the cops on me. We would have to like tell people like, no, it's a joke. It's a joke,
You have
please.
to look at this consent. Like,
Yeah, like that candid camera thing. Yeah.
Like, I consent to this.
Yeah. And then also, as well, so people asking, yes, Velocity has been bred twice now. Thank you, Jill. So we did check her hormone levels, and I took her in, was it Wednesday?
You took her today too?
Yeah, Wednesday. And we tested her progesterone levels, and she was at 11.8, and she needs to be at 12, so that's actually very good. And then we did another breeding again today. And so some people were asking why I didn't let them natural breed. The reason for that is because of the fact that I didn't want to miss it. So last time that I let them breed, I let them breed naturally, and unfortunately Batista just he got in sometimes, didn't get in others, and I just didn't want to miss it this time. And so I wanted to be sure that I was getting it in the right time, because sometimes females will actually let the males do their thing whenever they're actually not even, they'll do it early and even later. And so yeah, just because it's just the
maybe even the past and the like the smell.
Yeah. Oh, Savannah, grab me my mask so they can see my mask. Yeah, we did do the masks, and we are going to do that video. But so anyway, so yeah, so he said he thinks she's good to go. Obviously, we won't know yet, but we're going to do an ultrasound in 20 days from the date that we actually allowed her to breed. And I'm really, really, really hoping that it takes, because I'm just so looking forward to it. Even Reese was saying that she might be interested in something off of it as well, because we're just looking at the pedigrees and looking at how they are, and I've just got, really high hopes. I sent out for his I sent out for his
How dead that marker is.
Yep, I sent out for his DNA testing through AKC today. So here's my mask.
Okay, then.
I made my mask. It has glitter, which I'm pretty sure the Ichigo doesn't have a glitter hollow mask. But I just couldn't resist doing the glitter. I don't know if you could really see it. Anyway, so yeah, so I love Bleach. And funny thing is, Ichigo is actually not. Thank you, homeschool. I don't have a name for her yet. But Ichigo is not my favorite. Actually, my favorite is Kenpachi Zaraki. He's my absolute favorite.
Mine's messed up now. It's all kind of.
And there's Savannah's. So we did our masks together. And thank you, Taylor. And so yeah, we're gonna do. Yeah.
Right
Yeah, he'll watch it, Rich.
Hold on.
He doesn't like it. He can even be watching and he won't like it. What's the matter, preacher? Do you not like it? Do you not like it? He doesn't like it. He's like, I don't trust it. He's like, I don't trust it. Oh, he doesn't like the heavy breathing. He comes over. Oh, he's guarding. He's guarding. He's guarding. He's like, I don't like it. He's like, cut it out. Cut it out. Oh, he doesn't. Preacher doesn't like it. Yeah. So anyway. He doesn't trust it, y'all. He knows it's her. See, look, he's kissing her. Look, he's giving kisses. So he knows it's her, but on part of him, he's just like, I don't trust it. She's possessed. He wants to love her, but then he's like, I don't know about that. Look how he comes over and guards me, gets close. Yeah, kisses, kisses, kisses. He's so funny.
If I go in that kennel room, you'll hear him.
Oh my God, yeah. Go in the kennel room. Yeah, we're gonna listen because I've watched this. Just listen. Yeah. So, as you can tell,
if anybody ever wanted to try to like sneak into our house,
they're quite protective.
Like, what are you doing with that thing in your hand?
So yeah, they're not having it. They don't like it.
He's like, hey baby, so are you okay?
So anyway, definitely not a house that you would want to break into.
No.
But anyway, well, I'm gonna let y'all get to it. Get on to your evening.
Yeah, it's like
it's
over here. It's about to be 11.
It's almost 11 o'clock here, and I have to actually wake up early. And yeah, I have to take one of the puppies to the airport in the morning. So.
And then somebody's coming to get theirs, right? Is somebody
no.
there tomorrow?
No. So anyway, no, I have not gotten Admiral's papers yet. Thank you, MH Van. I love all you guys too. And big thank you to all of you guys that are always here supporting me and sticking up for the truth, especially you, Terry Davis. You've always got my back, and believe me, it never goes unnoticed.
There's your
Look at that little face. Mama's little face. Mama's baby.
She's very
Mama's
tough.
baby.
You want to see her run around?
So anyway, yeah, we gotta go to bed. That's why everybody's put up right now.
She's so chubby right now.
We needed to go to bed, but I figured I was checking the comments, trying to give some love, and then I noticed that people were asking, and I figured, you know what? Let me just go ahead and address this before somebody's like, Rachel's hiding. Rachel deleted her comments and she's hiding. Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, all right, whatever. Let me just go ahead and make this video. Put this to rest. Get on here. Put a little truth out there.
My
A
mom
little
doesn't
rant.
hide. She throws rocks at the bear.
It's true. Yeah, I don't hide. I come out swinging. If I'm going down, I'm going down swinging.
Oh my gosh,
So,
wait. Oh no. Oh no.
so
It's a Panic at the Disco
um,
reference you didn't even know you made.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't even know you made it, but you made it.
Yeah. So anyway, well, hope you guys are having a good night, and hope you guys enjoyed my little rant. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.